And can I wish you a very warm welcome to the Netherhall School for our open evening. Particular welcome to members of Year 6 who are in the hall today. And thank you also for bringing your parents along with you. But if you could just make sure they're well behaved, that would be really appreciated. So what are we aiming to do this evening? Hopefully we've already started. There are three things that really we want for you this evening. First, we want you to see the school, to see the facilities we have on offer. Really importantly, we want you to meet our people, to meet our amazing students, to meet our teachers, and also to pose a few questions about what you want to be doing this time next year. So this evening, we've got three sort of key parts of this talk. One is just to share with you what we stand for as a school. Secondly, about how we operate on a day-by-day basis. And we also have some special guest stars here from Year 7 who are going to share their experiences of the first 5 weeks of their time at Netherhall. So we start off with what we actually stand for as a school. And really what we're looking, in essence, is great outcomes for our young people. Every individual coming through. And one of those things is about academic results. It's probably, we think, not the most important thing, but nevertheless, it is really, really important. Those academic results are excellent. And probably the best way of judging academic results is on something called the Progress 8 figure. And a Progress 8 figure is where the government at the end of Year 11 will take somebody's English result, their maths result, and they will add that up, they will double it, they will add it to 3 subjects from what's called the EBAC suite, from history, geography, computer science, and then 3 other GCSEs. And that comes up with a number. And then they compare that to the number that that individual student is expected to get. And they decide what the Progress 8 figure is. And it can be that the Progress 8 figure is a little bit lower than would be expected. It could be about what's expected, and it can be higher. Well, the results that we've had at the school, every year since these records began, we've had a positive Progress 8. That means students at Netherhall School do better than expected for them on all of those range of subjects. So it's a really, really positive outcome. And then if you take individual subjects, if you take maths, if you take English, if you take any of those EBAC subjects, and you look at the results here are higher than other similar schools. So there are great academic outcomes that are delivered year on, year out. So how do we do that? Is it by making sure we work the children really, really hard every minute of the day? Well, there's some truth in that, but actually it's much more than that. The reason we get those results is due to the partnership working with our community, with all members of our community, and particularly with our families. That's where the actual added value really comes from. And we help that and get involved in that in many different ways. One way is that we try to communicate to you what's happening at the school. We've got a weekly newsletter that comes through to your mobile phones, which shares what's been happening that week at the school. But also on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a picture of a bird, a puffin. Now this represents our parents and friends of the Netherhall School, and they work with us not just to do the typical things of doing some fundraising, but much more importantly, they advise us. They work with us so that the things that we develop as a school are really meeting the needs of our families. And no example is better than the example of the ALICE system. ALICE stands for Anglian Learning Information System. And this is our way of getting information that is live out to you, available 24 hours a day. So what you will do as a parent or as a student will be that you will log on to your individual account with a username and password that will be given to you. You will immediately then see some basic information about your son and daughter, their form tutor, their year group, the house that they're in. You will then get notifications. If a reward point is given, it will appear there immediately. And of course, the other way around, if there's a behaviour point, that will appear there as well, so there's no escaping. You will see pictures of the key people who will work with you. So rather than just hearing the name of somebody, you can actually see their picture as well. and you can actually get to know them, be a bit more familiar. All homework is recorded on this system, so there's no need to rely upon quickly writing something down in a planner and then afterwards trying to decipher it and work out what it says. It's there the whole time. So again, I'm sorry, Year 6, but your parents will know what homework you've got. We get to show all of your individual teachers. So this is not just a list of all the teachers in the school, this is just the teachers that you will have. And if you need to make contact with them, you just click on the name, it opens up an email, and you write your message. There's no trying to remember what the email address is. You can check on attendance, and even down to what's been eaten in the canteen that day. Yes, there is no escape. And the parents and friends, the Puffins, have helped us to tell us what things they feel would be appropriate for parents to actually hear. And one thing they asked us for is that they didn't just want an overview of attendance, they wanted it so that when you chose the attendance section, you could then click inside of it and find more detail. And that happens with each of those aspects. You can dig down inside of it and get far more information. So that gives you some information about how we actually share what's going on at the moment. But there's another thing, another part of that partnership that is crucially important to us. And I don't know if you're aware, but this year Netherhall is 150 years old. And I'd like to just point out, just for the sake of saying it this evening, that there are some bad rumours going around that I've been here since the beginning. and it's not true. We've got a great record behind us, a great history behind us, but actually what we've been doing over the last year is, rather than looking back, we've been looking forward. And we've been working with 6 groups of people: our governors, our parents, our staff and our students, also with the Anglian Learning Trust and our local authority, because we want to look ahead and focus on the future and say, what can we do more? What ambitions can we have to make the school even better than it is at the moment? And we've looked ahead till 2025. And the test we've had with all of these groups is, what can we do that is really outstanding, that's really ambitious, to make this school an even better place in that time? And between us, we've come up with a shared vision. It's not my vision, it's not just the governor's vision, it's owned by every member of the school, by the students who contributed, the parents, all of those different areas. So what we've got is a vision which is inspired by our entire community. And because the whole community has been involved, it's therefore supported by the community. And it won't just be delivered by individuals in a school, it's all of us that work together to deliver that. There are 9 key ambitions that we have. Those are things which the governors share with parents through our newsletter, taking it step by step. But those actions are happening already. We're already starting to realise some of those goals. But over the next 4 years, it's going to be a really exciting period of development, all coming through this partnership working. And now finally, before I move on to talk or pass over to our Year 7 stars, a little bit about the values of the school, about what affects our day-to-day operation. And this really boils down to 3 particular words. And the observant of you, when you came in today, hopefully will have seen these 3 words, because they are written on the walls above the entrance to the atrium building. 3 words which really are the heart and soul of what we do, and we don't make any decisions at the school without referring back to these 3 values. Everything we do has got to be in line with these 3 things. The first word is that of inspiring. Now, we believe for students to really thrive, they need to be in an inspiring environment. And we've got a marvellous school environment. Fantastic fields, and our grounds, really spacious. Our buildings are really modern. This is the biggest school hall in Cambridge that we're in the moment, with all the facilities we've got. It's not just the buildings, it's also, when you think about what we've got a huge sports centre, a brand new fitness suite, 2 drama studios, a technology department with laser cutters in it, 12 science labs. Every one of the English and maths rooms has got a brand new LED screen to support the learning. We've got a TV studio, we've got a dance studio. There are so many facilities that we have to inspire young people, and they are being added to every year. But great facilities by themselves don't do it. It also has to be inspiring staff. And I have to admit that I take a huge amount of inspiration from our teaching staff. The amount that they give of their own will to our students, they just keep on going. The last 18 months has been just such an easy time in some ways to be a head teacher because the staff have been just so amazing in their commitment. And it's not just the teaching staff, it's every member of staff at the school who are inspiring. And then in their turn, the students inspire us. When we see them achieving, taking steps that they haven't taken before, that really gives us a buzz every single day. So it's got to be an inspiring environment, but also we are sort of developing our school around individual needs. Every individual person at the school matters in terms of how we do things. And probably the easiest way to see that is in our school curriculum. So school curriculum is kind of what we do in the lessons. So all schools, I think, actually have quite a broad curriculum in Year 7. But ours is distinctive as we go through that we keep that breadth going. So in Year 7, students will be placed into one of 6 or 7 broad ability groups based upon information from their SATs tests, when they do take them. The last 2 years, of course, they haven't. But also from information from the primary schools. It isn't simply we take the results and rank people on it. We listen, we talk, we take into account all sorts of things to come up with the best position for that first year. In Year 8, we introduce setting. So a student will be in a different group for English, different group for maths, to make sure they're in the right place to maximise their learning. We also introduce German into the curriculum to add to the French that was there in Year 7. Year 9 is a year for preparing for GCSEs and looking ahead to the options choices. And here is a point where Netherhall School is quite distinct from many schools, in that at this point in time, there are always subjects that every student in the country needs to do. Maths, English, science, PE, RE. They are compulsory for everyone until the age of 16. But at that point, we don't then have any subjects which are compulsory. We don't say that everybody has to do history. We don't say that everybody has to do a language. We don't say that everybody has to do technology. We make the freedom of choice complete, so that if students want to pick a range of subjects that particularly focus on one aspect, they are free to do so. And if we can make it work, we do. And the thinking behind it is really simple, that if students are following a curriculum which they're interested in, where they've got that desire to work, they'll be happier, they will do better, they'll be more successful. And during Year 10 and 11, they will tend to do 10 to 11 GCSEs. Everybody has a 2-week work experience, and again, that's something which is quite distinctive. Many schools now don't offer a work experience. We are committed to it, that every student here will have an opportunity of doing work experience. And there's also additional options for gifted and talented students to push themselves that bit further. Now, that's relatively standard, but that's not good enough for us, because we are developing our school curriculum around the needs of every individual student. They don't all fit into that clear pattern. So in Year 7, we also have a group called the STAR group, because some students find that transition from primary school more challenging than others. The STAR group gives an opportunity for them to be in a smaller environment, to be able to be supported to make that transition. In Year 8, for some students, they benefit from additional support for their learning. How to take notes, how to revise, how to actually cope with the sort of range of different bits of information coming at them. In Year 9, whilst everybody is preparing for their GCSEs, we will also offer additional support for literacy, for numeracy, all trying to build that firm foundation for the GCSEs. But then something really exciting that comes from one of our key priorities. So from that discussion with all of those groups, one of the things that we believe is the right thing for us to develop, which will be in place by the time the Year 6s are in Year 10, 11, is a different curriculum route for Key Stage 4, where for some students, they will benefit more, rather than doing 10, 11 GCSEs, from doing a smaller number, 6 or 7 GCSEs, adding to that with a range of accreditations, maybe a first aid qualification, maybe it will be some form of coaching. And then on top of that, having a series of work experiences, where during those 2 years, they go out and they have an experience in the retail section, an experience in the leisure section, going into hospitality, trying to do a range of different things, and actually having people from employment coming into the school and actually mentoring them and moving them forward, leading on to things like apprenticeships and vocational courses. It's trying to meet the needs of every individual child going forward. Now that's all about the lessons, but I don't know about you, but if I think back to school, I don't have these great memories of an English lesson or a science lesson. What I remember are the trips. What I remember is the sport. What I remember is the music. Because extracurricular is the part where we really, really build character. We get to try, we get to play, we get to do those exciting things. And on the screen here is a breakdown of our extracurricular activities for this half term. Now, there's so much on it, you won't be able to read it. So I've picked out for you some highlights. So on Monday break time, we have Rubik Cube Club. We have Grease rehearsals taking place at lunchtime. So we do a school production every year. This year it's going to be Grease. And my chills are multiplying as I think about it right now. After school, we've got Latin Club. On a Tuesday, believe it or not, students come before the start of school at 8 o'clock for Fitness Club. I've promised myself I'll try to go once, but I haven't made it yet. More likely to turn up at Games Club at a morning break time, then we've got a homework club at lunchtime. Wednesdays, we've got before school basketball club. We've got the Green Society meeting, amongst other things. Lots going on after school on a Wednesday. One of the ones which is very popular is Doodle Club, where people actually involve in different types of drawing. On a Thursday, badminton club first thing in the morning, Geography Society, language leaders. After school, loads of activities. In here takes place table tennis club. And on a Friday, there's a fewer things going on there because it's the end of the week. We still start with badminton club, we've got a games club, and believe it or not, we have crochet club. Yes, crochet club has really taken off at the school. We had 42 people turning up to crochet club last Friday, and what better way to finish a week than a nice bit of crochet? So there really is something there for everyone, and this is just the first half term. Next half term, there'll be a new set of things to do. There'll be new activities. So whether it's before school, break time, lunchtime, after school, there are a whole range of opportunities because that's where we develop the individual. That's where we build the character. And the last one, before I hand over to our Year 7s, is probably the one which is most important to us. It's certainly the one that, for me, is the one which is closest to my heart. And that's about the word inclusive. It's about the atmosphere in the school. It's about belonging to the school. And here, I'm afraid, I am a physics teacher. So I have to, at some point in every talk, get in a physics equation. So this one is Einstein's theory of relativity, which I know you all know, as E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. But it means something different here. It means every child, so the E and C, matter a lot. Every individual, it's important to us that every individual at the school feels like they belong. See this as being home. And we achieve that by having high expectations in class, high expectations out of class, and working to build community. Every opportunity we have is about building the community of the school, using our vertical tutoring, which you'll hear about in a moment, using our pastoral systems. Everything is actually putting together so that those outcomes at the end of the year are not just great academic results, but young people who are ready to take that next step confidently into life at the age of 16. But I've talked for enough. I'm now going to hand over to Sabella and then Jake, who are going to share their experience of the last few weeks at Netherhall.
Hello, my name is Sabella and I'm a Year 7 student here at Netherhall. The first thing we're going to talk about is the summer school. Each year, Netherhall holds a summer school for the students that will start in Year 7. It's in the summer holidays and it lasts a week. At first, I didn't really want to go because I was too nervous, but I'm glad I went because it was a great experience to get a further understanding of what the school's like. It also meant that I could make some friends before the beginning of school. And as a person with only one of the pupils from primary going to the same secondary school, it meant I had a few familiar faces on the first day. Some of the activities/lessons we had were English, DT, and even drama. Overall, I really enjoyed the summer school and had lots of fun there. Next, I'm going to talk about my experience at Netherhall so far. At first, the school seemed so big. Actually, that's not big enough. So big! I thought I was never my way around. But really, within a week, I knew my way around almost off by heart. It also helps that all of the staff here are always happy to help and super friendly. And to finish it off, I'm going to talk a little bit about my first day. On the first day, only the Year 7s were in school, so it was a little bit less overwhelming, and the corridors were less crowded. We also did a bit of getting to know people. We also had a brief tour, so we knew roughly where things were, such as the different places, like the atrium hall, which we are in now, the different buildings and classes, and places like the playground, field, and more. So, overall, Netherhall is a really welcoming, helpful, and all around a great school.
Hello, I'm Jake, and I've been in Netherhall for 5 weeks now, and I'm here to tell you about what it feels like to be in form. The form I'm in is F5, standing for Franklin 5. Franklin's the best house, of course. The other 3 houses are Serenka, Hobbs, and Davies. There'll be around 25 of you in form, and you'll meet every day from 8:40 to 9, doing fun activities such as quizzes and games. There'll also be a Choose Respect activity every day where you get to talk about certain aspects of the brain and psychology and our respect affects our everyday lives, along with the daily bulletin, which will help you arrange your extracurricular clubs and activities. There's also your form tutor. They will help you and give you useful advice on homework, timetables, or anything else you need help with. There'll guaranteed be a range of different year groups in your form, but don't fear, there will be at least 3 other Year 7s in your form, so you'll make friends quickly. Let's talk about Pride Points. These are a system of reward in Netherhall. You might have heard house points or merits in your school. You can earn them in lots of different ways, such as exceptional work in class, good contribution to the lesson, good behaviour, good attendance, and filling out your Pride Pledge. Gathering several Pride Points will get you certain bonuses, such as queue jumping at lunch and break and extra computer time. And who doesn't like extra computer time? Being in a vertical form seems a world away from the same age groups you have in primary, which is why I'm here to talk about it. The wide age range in your vertical form goes from years 7 all the way to 11. Well, that's a lot of ages, right? Right, and there's still more. Around the school and in your form, you might see students wearing green jumpers. These are the Year 11s, and you might even see students not wearing any uniform. These are the Oaks, and they're currently doing their A-levels. You'll be assigned a form room. Mine's M2. Yours could be anywhere. It could be in a maths room or a science room or even an art room. I'm definitely jealous. As you enter your form room for the first time, you might notice a few odd things in your room. Your classroom might have sewing machines in it like mine, or wonderful art on the walls. Wherever you are, this will be where you come every day to meet up and do the register. Although Netherhall may seem big, you'll always have your form tutor by your side, and they'll be with you for the next 5 years, so you can rely on their help at any of those times. I really hope you get on well at the Netherhall School. I'll be seeing you soon. Please remember to take a bow.
Well done to Sabella and Jake for that. I'm sure that you can imagine how nerve-wracking it is for them to come up and to deliver a speech like that. And of course, Year 6s sitting there now. We need 2 people, 2 volunteers to do this time next year. So do we have any volunteers? There's some at the back, I can see. Yes, we'll have to get your names at the end. But well done, really well done to actually be able to deliver that talk this evening. So we're nearly at a close now, and I just want to finish off by just telling you a little bit about the application process for places for next year. And a little bit of background information about that is that we are very much at Netherhall a growing family. and the popularity of the school is growing very, very quickly. This summer, we had an extra 38 people join us coming into years 8, 9, 10 and 11. So that's really quite extraordinary. Normally there'd be 1 or 2, 38 this year, some from the local community, some coming from further afield. And this year's Year 7, our normal school year is 180 students. This year we welcomed 214. And the reason we had so many in was because we had so many applications last year, placing us as their first choice preference. We talked to the local authority. The local authority offered that we could take 1 extra class in there, and we very much welcomed that. So it is a school which is becoming increasingly popular and growing. If we look at this year, we are back at the situation of having 180 places available for September. If you wish to get a place at the school, we really do recommend that you maximising your chances is putting us down as your first preference. If we are overwhelmed in the same way as we were last year, we will be open to increasing that number. Again, that depends upon the agreement from the local authority that we can do that. But certainly, you will all be very welcome to come here for September. And what now? Hopefully you've already had a good chance this evening. You've got some more time now to go and look and see some more about what the school's actually like, to meet some more of our students and to ask them the questions about what school is really like, to talk to our teachers, and hopefully to dream, to think about what it will be like starting and joining us as part of the Netherhall family next September. Thank you ever so much for your time.